Hey guys, so in today's video, we're going to be talking everything hooded eyes. I'm going to take you through all of the do's and don'ts of hooded eyes eyeshadow, the best tips and tricks to make your eyes look bigger and brighter, and the things that you should probably avoid that are just going to make your eyes appear droopy, tired, less open, less bright, less wide awake, all of the things that you don't want. These are all very, very simple, quick, easy tips. You're not going to need anything, you're not going to need to buy anything outrageous. You'll be able to use everything that you've already got at home, and hopefully this answers some of the questions that I know heaps and heaps of you have about hooded eyes. I understand the struggle when you look at this amazing masterpiece of eyeshadow on like Instagram, or you watch somebody do it on YouTube and it's like this big wing, it's like this cut crease glitter, everything amazing, all this beautiful blended out eye, and then you put it on your own eye and you're like, that just does not look the same on my eyes. Yeah, eye shapes really do play a big role in, eyeshadow and the ways to do eyeshadow. And hooded eyes, like a lot of people think, my eyes are hooded, bad, negative, bad. Hooded eyes are not bad. They're a different shape. You've got to tweak things a little bit. You've got to, move things around a little bit, and, you'll still look absolutely beautiful at the end of it. All eyes are beautiful. All eyes, all shapes, all sizes. Everyone's perfect. All right, so if you are interested in learning all of the do's and don'ts for hooded eyes and the best tips and tricks for hooded eyes, then please stick around. All right, so firstly, for those of you that may not know, I wanted to quickly show you exactly what a hooded eye looks like and what a hooded eye is. Basically, when your eyes are hooded, essentially this little section of skin that is above the eyelid, it hangs down a little over top of the crease there and sort of folds down over the lid and does cover up the eyelid. So that's why it's really, really important to make sure that we make a couple of changes with our eyeshadow techniques to get the eyes looking as big and as bright as possible. Now, the first don't is actually, it's got to do with filling in your brows. When you do have hooded eyes or even downturned eyes, you don't want to be extending the tail of your brow down past the height of the inner part of your brow or the head of the brow. Filling the brows in this shape will cause that outside part of the eye to look even more hooded and more downturned. So what you want to do instead is actually sort of fill the brows in more of a straight line and try to keep the tip of the brow at the same height at the head of the brow to keep that area looking nice and bright, to keep it upward lifted, to pull up the eyes, to pull up the face, and just make you look a whole lot more youthful. So see how this brow sort of goes out in an outward direction rather than pulling down? That's the way that you need to do it. The next don't of hooded eyes is not priming and also not setting down your eye primer. Unfortunately, when we do have hooded eyes, it means that that skin is folded and you're at a much, much higher likelihood of getting folding and creasing in your eyeshadows, and you'll also get oil settling in there, which is going to disrupt your entire eyeshadow look. So make sure that you do use a really good crease-proof primer, like a great eyeshadow primer, and then make sure to also powder it down really, really well with a translucent powder to ensure that it doesn't crease. The next don't is to place your transition color or your blending color directly in the crease. Basically, when you do this, when the eyes are open, because they are hooded, you're not going to be able to see any of that color in there, and it's also going to close off the eye. What we want to do instead is actually create sort of like a fake crease, and we want to apply that blending color, that dark transition shade, slightly just above the crease to create a fake crease and to give the eye the illusion of being much wider, much bigger, and much more open. See the difference that makes? So on one side there, I've packed that color right into the crease. You basically can't see it. And then on the other side, I have filled it up a little bit higher and the eye is already looking much brighter. Now, in addition to this, when blending the inner corner of the eye, a really neat trick is to actually not follow the natural curve of the eye, but instead when filling in the transition towards the inner corner, you want to imagine a straight line and blend the transition color in towards the bottom of the head of the brow. Sort of imagine a straight line, keeping the inner corner of the eye free of any deeper colors, and see how it really widens and brightens up the eyes, and again helps them appear a lot less hooded. The next don't for hooded eyes is blending in the outer corner with deeper colors in a downward sort of direction. This pulls down the outside of the eye and will also make the eye appear more hooded. What you want to do instead is sweep your eyeshadow upwards and outwards towards the tail of the brow, really buffing it out, and this will help to again lift the eye, brighten the eye, and open up the area to help the eyes appear less hooded. The next don't is using deep colors and dark colors all the way across the lid and blending them towards the inner corner. When we have hooded eyes, we want to create the illusion of really, really nice, bright, open eyes to make the eyes look a lot bigger and a lot less hooded. And the best way to do this is to apply deep shades only in the outer corner, buffing them in, blending them outwards, and then light colors on the inner corner. This applies for both mattes and shimmers, but using dark on the outside and light on the inside will really help the eyes appear much brighter and wider. The next stone is basically repeating this through the lower lash line. Using heavy, deep shades through the entirety of the lower lash line will close the eye in, will pull the eye down, it will make the eyes appear smaller, more dull, and just sort of less visible and striking. So again, deep shades only in the outer corner of the lower lash line, and then we want to use nice, bright, light shades on the inner corner just to help whiten and brighten that entire area up. The next Hooded Eyes don't is applying a shimmer over the entire brow bone. When we do have a hooded area on the eye, applying a shimmer all over it is basically going to draw light and attention to this area, and it will actually make the hood of your eye appear much larger and much puffier, and like it hangs down a whole lot more than it actually does. So when using a brow highlight, make sure to tuck it up directly under the brow bone only to ensure that the eye looks nice and bright and open. And the same sort of thing goes for applying shimmers on the actual lid. What we want to do when we have hooded eyes is actually, apply a light shimmer or even a darker shimmer on the lid, and then also make sure to highlight the inner corner. Again, this will just lift the entire eye and brighten it. So here you can see I've applied the shimmer all over the hood of my eye, and then on the other side only on the brow bone, and I've highlighted the inner corner, and there's a massive difference in the way the eyes look. The next Hooded Eyes don't is applying really, really thick eyeliner. Essentially, when you do that, when the eyes are open, you're not going to be able to see any of the eyeshadow. All you're going to be able to see is a black line because we've got such a small visible lid space, or for some people there's no lid space at all. So what we want to do is apply a really, really thin line instead. And when we are creating wings on hooded eyes, we want to do the tail and the flick of the wing. We want to carry it out further out past the eye and then start winging it up, missing the crease or the fold of the hood. If we actually don't miss the crease or the fold of the hood, what happens is it closes the eye in, but it also causes transferring. So you're going to get your eyeliner smudging and transferring all up on your top lid. I don't know about you, but I prefer to avoid that look. All right, so next up we have eyeliner in the lower waterline. When we've got hooded eyes, we want to try and avoid using a dark color through the entire bottom waterline, smudging the black all the way through there. It's okay to use a little bit in the outer corner, and that can help the eyes to look nice and smoky and elongated, but over the rest of the waterline, you want to stick with a white or a light beige color. This again will help to open and brighten the eyes and help them appear less hooded. Next up for mascara, I find a lot of people tend to avoid mascara on the lower lashes when they have hooded eyes. It's a common misconception, but actually applying mascara on both your upper and lower lashes helps the eyes appear brighter and wider and sort of more fluttery. So without mascara here on this side and with, and you can tell the big difference that it does make. The next stone for hooded eyes is selecting the wrong shaped lashes. For hooded eyes, you want to go with a lash that is shorter on both the outer and inner corner and then longer through the center, because this will help the eyes to appear much more round in shape, more open, more wide, more bright, and just a whole lot more awake, which you can never be mad about. So you can see the big difference here. Also, not trimming the lashes on the outer corner and having them extend down too far past the eye will make your eyes appear more droopy and more hooded. And then the final hooded eyes don't that I have for you guys is not using a concealer underneath the eye to brighten the area and leaving any dark areas under the eye space. This will again cause the eye to appear droopy, more downturned, more hooded, less awake, and just, we want the eyes to look as bright and as awake as possible. So there you have it, guys. Those are my best hooded eyes do's and don'ts. I hope today's video helped you. If you do have any more questions or anything that you need help with, please be sure to leave your comments down below. I hope you're having an amazing day. I love you guys heaps, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye!